have been fucking waiting for. It came back after, I think, its only year off ever. NYC Comic-Con. We were there. We were waxed. We were vaxxed. That shit was great. And I think Rod has created one of the most important objects in the known universe because of that Comic-Con. But we'll get to it. Guys, we had fun.
Yeah, and I felt good to come back after a year off. Although because of the pandemic, big exhibitors are pulling out now of the local conventions. But that's like a double-edged sword because, like, yes, you get these big exhibitors to pull out, but it also makes it about comic books again. Because remember, Comic-Con began as comic book vendors getting together, trading issues, things like that, and creators started showing up, and it evolved into this massive pop culture phenomenon. But yeah, it was kind of skimp. I mean, granted, we did go Thursday, which is it's like the warm-up day. Comic-Con goes into full revs up completely on Saturday typically, and then starts to wind down. Yeah, and then starts to wind down like on Sunday. But overall, it was still pretty cool, man. And we all dressed up. I created an original character specifically for this. Now, if you're a fan, newcomer or an old fan, I've been big on this Harley Quinn shit. I don't care how much Ches hates. Ugh. I don't care. This character has been blowing my mind these past few years. And it's like I already love the fucking Batman lore, and then you have Harley Quinn just taking all this shine now. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, I created my own character. I was like a Harley Quinn. I called him Harvey Quinn.
That was
and there's a whole backstory. It's actually Harvey Dent who gets twisted by it. Anyway, that's a whole other episode.
You never told us that.
Yeah.
Wait, so basically that Harvey Dent, he was the therapist and he fell in love with the Joker. That's crazy.
Yeah, as an aside, if you've never
added that on my own.
Yeah, I know. I saw Rod's face. Like, no, that's not the story. Ches, shut up.
Because it reminded me of if you have the DC Infinite subscription, there's this Harleen comic. It's from DC's Black Label of comic books. That's why that should what you said reminded me of that comic book. But yeah, check that out too. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, that was my cosplay.
Yo, yes, and so it's I love the backstory. I think we need to know more about the backstory. This has to be a recurring fucking segment on the show.
DC's gonna steal it and not give me a dime. You fucking cold-blooded bastard.
You gotta keep fleshing that out.
Yeah. At least that'll give us something also to say. You were robbed by DC. That's a pretty cool thing, like. Yeah. So it's cool. And I think what I also wanted to say, I guess for the fans out there that they're listening, because from what we know, there's a lot of listeners in India, there's some listeners in the DR, there's listeners in Mexico, there's listeners in random parts of Europe too as well.
Brazil, Scotland, I think.
South Africa. So maybe you guys haven't been able to come to the comic because there's San Diego Comic-Con, which is the big Comic-Con, which eventually Legion on Zoom will be there once they invite us, because come on,
matter of time.
But New York City Comic-Con, that's ours, right? Because we're fucking New York City, man. And then for me, if you guys have been listening, this is my 10-year anniversary in New York City. It was in August, but it's been 10 fucking years in New York since a decade knowing you guys, man. Shit, man.
Yeah.
So remember Rod picking me up at the airport with your cousin.
Yeah. And I get car sick. The fun fact, I fucking hurled my guts out.
That was my first meeting, Rod.
What's up, man?
Pick me up. We're driving. And he's like, we gotta pull over. I gotta throw up. Okay.
Because who is this weak human?
Yeah.
And so just fun fact, because I was trying to figure out, because Comic-Con in San Diego has been ongoing for a long time. Because I went to that when I was a kid growing up in Tijuana, south of the border from San Diego. But Comic-Con in New York City has been ongoing since 2006. So what Ches was saying, last year was the first year that it didn't happen. Well, it might have not happened some other year. I don't know, but I'm not reading Wikipedia that much. But the point is that
the first year was 2006.
2006, the first New York City Comic-Con. Yeah.
Oh, because there's also a Big Apple Comic-Con. That was another thing that just got lost, I think.
In the sands of time, straight up.
Shout out to Big Apple Comic-Con.
but going off of what Rod was saying, with the big vendors pulling out, it seems kind of shitty in a way, because if you think about it, it's it's the ultimate cold-blooded capitalist move because it lacks all solidarity in a culture that's quote unquote supposed to be based on solidarity. Because, like, think about it, at least for 1 year, it's the first year back, middle of the pandemic, for DC and Marvel to pull out of NYC Comic-Con is basically to tell those fans, in a way, to not have any presence. It's like, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like, we know that you need our shit so much. We don't really care about like the status quo at the moment. We're still going to try to rip as much money out of you as possible and divide and conquer. That's crazy. They could have at least been there this year.
Yeah, because that goes back to exactly like what I was trying to say, that you're right, exactly. Because like for at least, because like I never went to San Diego Comic-Con like that, like when I was much older and like, you know, in the comic book lore. Like for me, Comic-Con has been New York City Comic-Con. That's my motherfucking Comic-Con. Thanks to both of y'all. You know, then my first Comic-Con, like real proper Comic-Con in cosplay, was with you guys, you know. And throughout the year, and I think the three of us together, we've been to what, 3 Comic-Cons together, right? 2,
I would say 2.
Yeah, and Rod, you and I, we've been to what, 3, 4 Comic-Cons, I think, something like that. Yeah. You know, and I've been seeing Comic-Con grow to the epic levels of San Diego Comic-Con. You know, which I'm pointing to California out there.
You'd be absolutely wrong, but it's that way right now.
Yeah, probably you're right, because I think it's that way. Yeah. Where like a San Diego Comic-Con, that's like where they do like fucking big, like, you know, celebrity, like movie premieres and shit like that. But New York City Comic-Con's been growing for that. And I was it last year, right, where they had the Zack Snyder's, was it the Justice League just como se dice, the costumes that the actors wore, and like they had it there, and it was fucking dope to go see. And like they would do, I remember like one time we went there, like they had the whole Shield cast there, and like so it was like fucking big.
Yeah, we saw Agent Coulson there.
Yes, yo, Chloe Bennett, who I fucking love. And like, if you are listening, Chloe Bennett, I love you. I'm married, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, my wife is okay with it. You know, it's fucking awesome. But anyway, yeah, exactly. And it's but exactly, you're right. It's kind of weird now for this New York City Comic-Con, where it's like, yeah, like now DC has DC fandom. Marvel's been really like como se say, holding on to with the Disney Expo that they do. And so they're even getting out of San Diego Comic-Con, getting out of New York City Comic-Con, which kind of like, yo.
Yeah, remember San Diego Comic-Con sucked. Remember, was it from home or something?
Yeah, Comic-Con from home. And
wait, did we skip one? I think we even skipped one. Did we not even? We didn't like even address one that happened sometime in the summer.
Well, I think yeah, because I think this year San Diego Comic-Con, there was like a weird San Diego Comic-Con at home, but apparently I think wasn't San Diego Comic-Con. I think it's supposed to be planned on Thanksgiving weekend in San Diego in person. I don't know what's happening there, because that sounded like a stupid idea, because I'm like, regardless of the pandemic, don't do it on Thanksgiving weekend. Like, it's like you're having comic book fans choose between family and like comic books. Like, come on.
Dude, I'm thinking that these fucking disgusting, greedy, sleazy companies are actually exposing themselves, and they're applying the model of the streaming services. That doesn't work for everything. Like, one person can have 5 streaming services. Sure, they're on the same device. One person, like, we have a limit on how much we can care about and intake. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I love shit that's about, like, I enjoy things that have to do with Marvel. I don't give a shit about the Disney Expo. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Rod, he loves DC, and so do I. But to be honest, fandom doesn't excite me like that. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, the thing about NYC Comic-Con, it was like so much at once. It was almost a holiday, you know? Now all these things being isolated, they lost their meaning, kind of. They're not as special, you know? Yeah, like, it's cool to have fandom, a bunch of like stuff that's DC in one shot, but you can't front that it feels the same as having Marvel, DC, like all the other vendors and publishers like Comic-Con in one shot. It felt like a holiday.
It's a whole different thing for sure. Yeah, like going to Comic-Con has its own charm, and seeing all the exhibitors, but I do like a concentrated dose of DC straight to the bloodstream.
But that's the thing. They can have that. And they can have that. They don't got to get rid of fandom. But look at to what extent motherfuckers go. We're like, yo, let's completely withdraw in every single shape and form from like really?
Yeah, the pandemic changed shit.
Too much, too much. Like, yo, like, why so much greed? Like, really? You just gotta wipe yourself off from the whole convention. The two Titans, like, yo, it like any money bet. I mean, shit. You could kind of make the case that it might have been headed there anyway, just out of sheer greed. But the way they're doing it, like, it just seems stupid. Like, they're like, fuck the magic. Like, we're gonna shove our magic down your throats, and you're gonna like it.
And that's a good point about like it was kind of heading there already, because actually even before all of this, the Disney Expo, the D23 Expo was already happening before the pandemic, and they were slowly getting out of San Diego Comic-Con, you know. And I will give, you know, Rod credit where at least DC fandom because did something like, well, for the name fandom, for the fans, you know, because the Disney Expo, the D23 Expo isn't for fans. Like, you can't really, it's for investors, no, for the most part. And it's like, we can't really participate in it. So it's like, at least I would like, it'd be really fucking cool if one day like DC fandom is an in-person kind of thing. I'd be willing to travel to that. That'd be kind of fun.
100%.
Yo, to have it be its own thing for real. But like, it was nice to have it all be in one spot, you know, or maybe two spots, San Diego Comic-Con and New York City Comic-Con, you know, that for them to have like some of its heavy fucking, you know, hitter stuff show there too, not just until you know, like their own specific events, you know. But you know, we're talking about, because for actually I wanted to ask you guys on our way to Comic-Con, you know, Rod and I we shared an Uber. And we had a very, very talkative Uber driver with us. She spoke the whole fucking way. The whole way.
I hope you give her 1 star. Nah, let's not be those kind of people. Fuck it.
Yeah, no,
nothing to be petty.
Yeah, but like I don't know where you're from, you know, but we don't really chat with our Uber driver that much, especially like on a 40-minute fucking drive. Like I'm not
yeah.
I don't want to chat
in a closed car and her just breathing carbon dioxide, taking you guys hostage.
Yeah, I thought it was common like knowledge that if you're driving an Uber, don't talk to your passengers.
No, I think it's common knowledge. No, yes, no, exactly. So for people out there, we're in New York City, so it's we're a little bit different, you know. So, but I think it's like, I thought the etiquette was like, try, but if you see me grab my phone and look down, that means stop talking to me. You know,
read the cab.
That's okay. You just stop. We don't have to be friends. Just drive me to where I'm going. That's it.
Fuck. Didn't she make you like her kid's godfather or some shit during that ride?
Diablo.
Yo, she was bugging.
Yo, Ches, you don't know this actually, but actually, yo, she invited us to a party. She invited Ron and I to a party that was gonna happen in the Heights, right? I think it was, right? Like,
damn. She's trying to pull out the Henny.
I really think you guys should go.
You know, a Halloween party actually too. Like, yo, yeah, shit gets crazy on Halloween. All right, maybe we'll think about it. Yeah. Anyway. The point I brought this up because she asked me, like, what is Comic-Con? What do you see at Comic-Con? So what would you guys say? Like, if somebody's listening to us right now and no one's ever been to a Comic-Con, despite the things we would expect from before, what usually do people see at Comic-Cons?
I would basically describe Comic-Con as everything you see on TV and books, almost in real life. That's basically what it is. You have people that are dressed up in awesome costumes, and you have people that sell and show art for everything that has to do with pop culture and comic books and cartoons and video games. That's exactly how I would describe it.
Rod, would you add anything else?
All right. Let me see. How would I describe comic? It's evolved along with the comic book bubble, the comic book movie bubble. It's evolved along with Comic-Con. Because before you can buy tickets. Midtown Comics would sell tickets, and they'd have tickets right up until the event. Like, hey, they're half off. Come on, buy some tickets. But now you need to be on point. You gotta get ready to get on that queue. and buy your fucking ticket. And anybody bet because of Marvel and DC pulling out and shit like that, demand for those first come first serve tickets is gonna drop a little bit, and they're gonna be more
Dramatically.
accessible, hopefully, and maybe even cheaper, man.
Word.
God damn, $70. Like that's cash, and you're not even seeing
Yo.
Batman there. Like, come on.
You see what
Hey,
I'm saying?
but-
The greed
Yep.
is wild.
But yeah, so but how would I describe it? I think it's a time because obviously comic books are very important to us, and just like not only for just entertainment, maybe to get your mind away from whatever you're thinking about, or something just to talk about with your friends and whatever. And for me, like the backbone of my moral upbringing is in comic books. Like I fucking love that shit for that. Because even though they just fucking punch each other in the face for the most part, it's all about being righteous and trying to do the right thing. Ultimately, the hero's journey.
Hell yeah.
So I love going to a place where it's centralized. Everybody's there for that reason, for the most part. You know, everybody's there to celebrate the great American mythos, as I like to call it, because I mean, yeah, you have your Mark Twains and whatnot, but I think like when you're talking about the American myth. Actually, the post-colonial American myth is comic books. It's fucking Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and all these characters, and they're gonna live on, man, way beyond us. So I think that it's cool that there's like an event once a year in the hub of the world, New York City, where everybody gets together and fucking celebrates these wonderful characters and their amazing history. That's how I would put it.
Shit, yo, that was some fucking speech that you give. What is it at like the Washington Mall? With
a white robe and the fucking.
You graduated from Comic-Con.
I graduated from the Kubert School.
Yes!
Judging.
Yes!
Those
That's
judgmental guys at your booth. We saw y'all
Word, yo.
judging.
That was the speech when you graduated from the Cooper School of Art.
Yo,
That made me want to go tomorrow.
Yeah, that was the mission statement.
Yo, let's cut that snippet out and just fucking.
That shit made me cry.
I'm gonna use that snippet right now next year when we apply for a press pass again.
Oh, word.
Yo, because New York City Comic Con was we tried to get a press pass. I guess we're not big enough, but whatever. Listeners out there,
Listen.
come on.
We're gonna get to the point that Comic-Con is gonna ask us to go, and to quote Rorschach, we will tell them, yes, we're going. We'd love to be there. Thank you very much.
Mad anticlimactic.
We're mad grateful.
Yeah.
But like I had mentioned earlier, after Rod's amazing speech, we have to bring up his fucking celestial infinity gauntlet level object he's created. What signatures do you have on your bat? And what was the
Ooh.
amazing array of creators that we saw at fucking because my mind was blown. My eyes still hurt from the brightness of the stars.
First and foremost, the first signature was our good friend and comic creator Ruben Romero.
Oh, word! Shout out to Ruben.
Yep, we saw him at the Comic-Con. Shout out to Ruben. It was great meeting you in the flesh.
Yo, for the fans out there, you check out our episode where we LOC presents Ruben Romero. You can follow him at Ruben the Writer, and he's an fucking awesome writer, up and coming, I would say, writer. And he recently signed for Behemoth Comics. So some of his awesome books, The Illusion Witch and Fairy, are going to be seen in Behemoth and additional new works. So we really fucking highly recommend this dude. He's fucking good dude. Great fucking books that he's writing.
Word.
Yes.
And some of the coolest sneakers I've seen in my own fucking life at that event.
He had
Those
the
DBZ
Comic-Con
kicks.
drip.
Yeah, them shits were wavy. But yeah, shout out to Ruben. Awesome dude. Thank you for like the super warm welcome. It was great meeting you, man. Yeah, on to the fucking celestial bat.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that impressive, but I also got Mike Lilly. Shout out to Mike Lilly, who did some art on Nightwing in, I want to say the early 2000s, mid to early 2000s era. You know, yeah, go ahead.
And who we're hoping will be on the show.
Exactly. I was going to say
soon.
next. Exactly.
No, but I do want to let fans out there know, like, people who have no idea of like what Comic-Con is, right? Like about like, yes, we talked about the TV, movie, films, the things we would expect and stuff like that. People in cosplay, fans gathered there to share the love, from the wonderful speech that Rod just said. But we also have this one of the best things about Comic-Con, honestly, is the Artist Alley, which is the bottom floor of the Javits Center, the Jacob Javits Center here in New York City, where it's just full of artists. Like, name a favorite fucking artist of yours. They're there. They're fucking there, sitting fucking on their fucking ass in the fucking chair.
Bro, I just realized something. Damn, that's mad allegorical. Artists are at the bottom. Ooh. Damn. Message. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but they gotta be hard, bro. They gotta be on the fucking top, man. Yo, word. Because without them, man, shit. And it's great, and it's a big ass. It's hard to describe. It's a convention center. It's the whole fucking floor of the convention center that has just booths, tables with all the artists, and we get to see them. They're usually there writing, obviously, for commission. To autograph, a sign, fucking autograph a specific art that they just made. They'll draw stuff right there. A few actually. And we've shown this, I think, before on the show. But like Rod, like what was it, 2 years ago now, got this epic fucking illustration by Scott.
Yeah, that was more. That was 3 years ago. What? That was the 2017 Comic Con. Yep, 2017. That was 4 years ago.
Yo, tell people how about that experience.
Yeah,
like, how was that?
Shit. Let me just show it. I'll fuck everything up right here. So, okay, so on my wall, so, guys know I'm a huge Nightwing fan, obviously. I have the Jim Lee Batman, I think it's out on 615 with Nightwing on the cover. And then I have Nightwing number 1, 1996 by Scott McDaniel with inks by Carl Story. One of my all-time favorite comic book fucking runs of all time, obviously. And then in the middle, we have original artwork, which you can't really see there, but it's on my Instagram. By Scott McDaniel himself, who we also hope will do the show. One of my heroes, actually.
Yo, oh my god! And I'll never forget that comic, because that's the beauty of comic. I remember that time when like you were so fucking pumped about it. We went up to him and like you told him like, this is kind of what I want, and he's like, all right, cool. And was it like, come back in a few hours?
Yeah, bro, I was starstruck, man. After like admiring his art for so many years, man, that shit was integral to my teenage life. Yeah, and see the man in the flesh.
So imagine fans out there like that, man. Like, you've been reading this book fucking for years, in important moments of your life, and you see the artist, and for a reasonable price, because they deserve fucking all the money, they're willing to right there fucking and then illustrate something for you, like it's fucking, and check our Instagram. We're gonna show off the awesome illustration that Scott McDaniel did for Rod of those 3 years ago. And it's awesome. And then you just get to walk around and share the love of comic books with other people and see other stuff. So that's the great stuff of fucking Comic-Con and Artist Alley, to do those things. And not to get a little bit of a downer though, but like for me, a little bit of disappointment was like this year's Artist Alley was a little bit lacking. There wasn't that many artists there, because of the pandemic. Like obviously some of the people we've interviewed Bob Quinn, Dan Mora, Jason Aaron. Well, he's not an illustrator, but also writers have booths there too. They weren't there. They were at a Comic-Con. So it's a little bit of a bummer that not Scott McDaniel that we just talking about wasn't there again.
Where you at?
But wasn't like another member of the Daniel family tree? Not saying they're related, but another. Didn't you see Tony Daniel there?
Yeah. Tony Daniel, another Batman artist.
Tony S. Daniel. Yeah.
And that was and that was another signature on the bat.
Yeah, you may know him from his.
This is an artifact you made, man.
Yeah. Now it's gonna be up on eBay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Because that's what I wanted to depict for the fans listening out there. Like, right, this is us walking Artist Alley. There's all these awesome artists, and we're in Rod as Harley Quinn has got the fucking Harley Quinn bat, and we're getting signature from some of the fucking artists that we love that were there. Fucking with what was the first one? The Lily.
And Daniel and Tony and our guy Romero.
Wasn't there one more that you got? There was one more.
Yeah, we also got one that I'm a fucking huge fan of.
Oh,
Jerome Opeña. Yo,
Yes.
he's a Filipino artist, but based in fucking New York City and Brooklyn. Fucking cool dude. We got to meet him. We got to talk to him a little bit. Hopefully he'll be a guest on the show soon. He said he's down.
Verbal contract.
Yo, we should have recorded it. Exactly. Yeah. And he's great. So you'll see some of his work that both Rod and I loved it on Uncanny X-Force. Was it Uncanny or just X-Force? I don't remember.
Uncanny. Because he wasn't on the original X-Force that's spinned out of Schism. And then that was Kyle Yost was writing that one.
Right.
I forget who was drawing it, but then it became Uncanny X-Force. That's when they had Phantom X.
And Clayton Crane was the artist at that in the Kyle Joss, Clayton Crane. That was the awesome X-Force run. Exactly. And then it was Rick Remender and fucking Jerome Pena. Yo, that X-Force run was incredible. It was fucking awesome. One of the best X-Force runs to date. And then also for me, I'm a big fan of from his current that just ended. He had the independent book with Rick Remender, who, for people out there who may not know who Rick Remender is, but you should though if you're listening to the show. But if not, he had a show, Deadly Class, on Sci-Fi last year, which was one of his awesome books. But he has a book right now called Seven to Eternity that was illustrated with Jerome Pena, co-creator, that just ended. And I fucking love that book. Jerome Pena draws the most epic, like big ass fucking, like it's like stylistic in really great detail, but also like big and in like epic scenery shit. He actually also illustrated the Rick Remender book that was the not Age of Ultron, but there was another Ultron which we just talked about in the What If section. Reign of Ultron. He illustrated the Reign of Ultron, which is this short kind of like event that leads to the infamous moment where Hank Pym, who's the creator of Ultron, actually merged with Ultron. And to this date, there's still one. Hank Pym is no longer Ant-Man out there in the comic book universe. He is Ultron altogether.
Awesome. Once again, proves my point. Hank Pym always finds a way to suck. Somehow. If they like, you can go back. I've said this before. In the history of Hank Pym, he's a villain. I don't know why they continue to allow him to operate as a hero. He beats women. He fuses with Ultron. Hank Pym always finds a way to suck. And that proved it. He apexed in sucking. That's like the sucking apex right there. And that's fucking crazy. That's insane. But quick on a side note, aside from all those awesome creators who Rod got their signature on the bat, we got to lay our eyes on the great Chris Claremont, like Miguel had mentioned earlier, which was very surprising to see. Like, because all right, one thing, like I didn't expect massive names to be there, considering like he doesn't need to do anything, and there's Chris fucking Claremont. So I was like, oh shit. But that's one thing. That's one thing I wanted to say about this Comic-Con. Like, it wasn't packed because obviously not many people wanted to go. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, I felt the effort in the air. You know what I mean? Like, the people that were there wanted to be there. Like, yeah, the vendors needed to be there because, you know, motherfuckers need money. Shit, like, they're not going to go broke. But it felt like everyone was like, even the vendors were there, were happy to see the people, and the people were happy to see the vendors. Everyone, like, it felt genuine. You know what I mean? Like, even without the big two, it felt like everything that was happening wanted to happen in spite of us dealing with a fucking pandemic. But I still disagree.
Like it's kind of de-evolving to its original state a little bit. You know, it's all about comic books again. People trading in rare comic books. Like I like laughed to myself when I would walk by like these comic vendors and people were looking for specific issues. Like, no, I need fucking Avengers number 44, whatever. Like I'm like, yo, I remember those days, man, hunting for particular issues. Now we're all digital and spoiled and shit. And we can watch we like read any issue we want whenever we want.
Shit. Talking about that, like I have mentioned a million times some ago, we were there and we finally got we got to do like I guess 3/4 of it. We got to look at some holy grails, which is one of my favorite part of Comic-Con. It's like it's like it's almost for me. It's like akin to traveling to the Vatican and touching like some saint's finger or some shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't
It's
know. Who the
more
fuck's-
valid than that.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Fuck all that
Exactly.
noise.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
We saw what the issue of Spider-Man where he was in the capsule thing. I think that was like the first appearance of the Human Torch.
That was no, it wasn't. But it was his first Spider-Man issue, like when he meets the Fantastic Four. That's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2. I think it's Spider-Man 1 actually.
Because I know the first appearance of Spider-Man is the Amazing Fantasy where he's holding somebody.
Yeah. But I mean his actual first comic book.
That's what that one's. Okay.
Yeah, that's Amazing Spider-Man number 1. You know, because he came out in Amazing Fantasy number
15.
15.
Yeah.
And then the Amazing Spider-Man number 1 is that when he meets the Fantastic Four. This awesome scene where he's trapped by the Fantastic Four.
Bro,
And
we
I want to
saw
hold that issue.
Yo, you should have asked them. That's what I was saying.
There's a
You
stack
could
of
ask
money
them.
next to it. I'm
Nah,
not fucking with that.
That shit was too real.
Yo, for the fans out there, we're walking around this is not Artist Alley, this is the whole other floor where there are people selling their stuff in their booths.
Like antiquities and shit.
And there's this section of all these fucking rare comic books that are also graded comic books. For those of you who don't know out there, there's a grading by I don't know, GC something.
CGC.
CGC.
And then you have the graded books, and they had these Amazing Spider-Man number fucking 1 and other epic ones, but seriously, obviously concealed in glass and shit, next to literally fucking stacks of fucking money, like some fucking like fucking some.
And dude, yo, that Spider-Man number 1 was what was it, like a CGC 7 or an 8? Fuck, that's crazy. Dude, that shit was fucking insane. And I got to cross off one of my bucket list thing. I've entered the world of pops. I got my first pop, folks. It happened. It wasn't one of the ones I wanted, but I feel what was a valid compromise. I got the Age of Ultron Hulk, and it's a bobblehead. So I don't mind. I got like a dual pop.
Yeah,
Age of Ultron movie or
Yeah. From what it says on the cover, it's from the Age of Ultron set. Number 68, and yeah, it's the Hulk bobblehead one, 068.
Well, technically, all Funkos are a little bit bobbleheady, right?
Not really.
No?
I thought they were
no.
nah. I thought they were solid pieces.
They are.
Yeah, all of them are solid
They
pieces.
are.
Some of them are bobbleheads.
Specialized bobble Funko, but yeah, they're just like regular twisty heads.
Now, yeah, mine is
because I have
Funko
2.
bobblehead.
They're bobbleheady. I thought they're all bobblehead.
Let me see if I got one within arm's reach.
I'm gonna go get mine right now.
I do. I actually have mine in arm's reach.
Yo, fucking
Let's talk pop.
confirmation.
Well.
Facts while we're at it.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, you get bonus shit. All right, so
yeah, you get to see our fucking places. You get to see our pops.
Obviously, I have the Nightwing pop, no bobbly, just regular. He doesn't even twist. This is
That shit is straight
one
vinyl.
piece. Yeah, it's just I don't want to twist it too hard because I don't want to break it. But yeah, this is the first Nightwing pop.
I'll get mine for the fans so they can see my first ever pop, folks.
Oh, and still in the fucking box.
Yeah, I'm not gonna open it. It's my first one.
Wait. Yeah. Nice.
And he's pissed. So the whole thing. Oh, see, look, the set.
Oh, they got the whole.
You watch on YouTube. There's Chez's face.
Yes. Fuck.
Yeah, you expose yourself. And I got this Teen Titans Go Nightwing.
I hate that.
Yo, and that's not bobblehead either.
Nah.
Yo, how am I like? This is the beauty of comic, and you continue to learn, you continue to love things because I have 3 ones. I'll start with the one I like the least, but I love them all though. The first one I have is fucking Baby Groot.
Yes.
Oh, that's a bobblehead.
Yeah, that's fucking a bobbling, bob. Yeah, so we have bobblehead fucking Groot. My other one that I think you heard us talk about before, I got motherfucking Mr.
Oh, nice.
Also a bobblehead. That one's dope.
I've always loved the simplicity and the design of their costumes.
Yo.
Oh my god! From day one, I'm
Perfect.
like, it's simple yet perfect. And it was like usually it was like white originally in the gloves, but this black looks even better.
And if you can,
Reed isn't a fucking fashion designer, bro. He's just like, I'm gonna make suits, and they're gonna have the number 4,
and that they're functional, and that's it, right? Yeah. But
What are they called? what is it called? The fabric? Some epic shit.
Some-
Like
something-
impossible
yeah.
particles or something.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hemp, like that, straight up.
Yeah, I kind of think he's like the villain, the maker, which we talked about in our what if section, because he had that fucking stain now. Like I don't know what happened in his eye. He's like he looks a little evil now with the.
So you
fish
think
and
that's
shit.
saying that's the evil stereotype of this car?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but
That's
I
also a bobblehead. Yeah.
but I got
Oh.
this Reed Richards to celebrate when I got licensed as a clinical psychologist. Finally
That's
passed
mad
my
apropos.
license in New York City.
Holla.
Hell yeah, in New York City, New York State, you know, in the fucking New York State, I got licensed, and so fucking got
Imagine
this.
like only New York City, like mad specific.
Damn.
Yo, once you leave, you can't do
Fucking
shit.
city. And then the other one, my favorite one is Thanos,
The
Yeah, but
Mad
it's-
Titan.
but it's bobblehead too, man.
That's
How the fuck
crazy
do you
that
have
all of
that-
yours are bobblehead.
Yeah, I was about to say that. How do you have? That's crazy.
Huh.
Because I thought most of them were bobblehead. I'm
bro, no way. I'm gonna let this sink in. That means for you, the absolute minority is the norm. In
no,
pops.
what?
Most pops aren't bobbleheads, bro.
That's what I
But
think too.
no, but I don't know. The norm, dude, out of the three of us, most of us have bobbleheads, except Rod. So the norm
Nah.
is bobblehead, dude. Like, I don't know.
I'm-
Rod is on the minority.
I'm telling you. Because I think it's skewing your results to get a favor your narrative.
Out of all of us, we have 4 bobbleheads and two not bobbleheads.
Wait, no,
That's
isn't
the-
it 3-3? It's
I-
2
I-
Nightwings and a Hulk, and then your 3 bobbly ones.
No, but Hulk is bobblehead.
Yeah, mine is a
Oh,
bobblehead.
he's oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's just 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Yo,
And
the people that are
look
still
at the
listening,
fans.
we
Yo,
thank
look-
you.
Look at the size of the Thanos. The
But
fucking-
Yeah,
low
that's
key,
crazy.
This clip would get the most watches on YouTube. Us playing with toys. People are way more interested in that shit.
Fine, you know what? For the fans, yo, should I unbox my bobblehead for the fans while we're at it?
Oh do
Yes, a live
Yes.
unboxing.
Fine, look, I'm taking it out. I'm taking
Yeah, lost value.
it out.
I have a Nightwing exclusive one. A red San Diego Comic Con,
Damn.
New York Comic Con.
And the crazy part is,
Ooh.
like, I can't like, and I'm unboxing him within gamma radiation, guys. If you go on YouTube, I'm in a radioactive environment. Ah, look at that.
Yeah, it goes with your whole green shit going
Yo,
on.
exactly. This is
But I can't see. Let me see his
perfect.
face. Though zoom in. I mean, bring him closer. Yes.
He's pissed. Look at that. Yeah. All right, cool.
No. Show it again. Show it again. Show it again. I'm gonna take a fucking photo of this. Yes.
And he's green. That looks mad
Loved
dope. Because of the
Oh,
lighting. All right, and by the way, guys, one thing that blew my mind, it's on the Comic-Con Instagram page. That super monkey Vegeta, that shit weighs what 8 tons. That shit weighs 60. Why does that weigh 16,000
What is it? I hope it's
pounds?
made out of recycled material.
Yeah, like what
Jesus.
the fuck
Otherwise,
is
it'd be
that?
so wasteful.
That shit is made out of straight up wood. Like,
Damn. A great oak perished for that shit.
fuck.
the greatest of folks. Hopefully,
You
man.
know what I
Only the
noticed?
best.
I don't know if it's gonna happen like all throughout the Comic Con, but I noticed a bigger emphasis on anime.
Oh,
And
word.
prior to like I don't know 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there was like New York Comic Con and then like a peripheral anime con.
Yeah, I remember.
I
that.
don't know if fans. I don't know if this is still going on. Let me know. But they seem to now have just like meshed, especially with the lack of exhibitors. They may just like, manga, comic books.
With the chaos, bro. Fucking adapt and overcome. That's what's happening. We're getting new shit. We're losing old shit.
Yeah, because for the fans out there, like for DC Comic Con, we always got also anime. We did have anime. We'd always usually have a really fucking epic Dragon Ball Z section. Not even a booth. It's bigger than that.
Brand new.
Yeah, Ches just put the fucking whole
No.
back in his box.
That shit was a live reboxing.
But this year, and we would have anime here and there a little bit more. But like I felt this year, yeah, there was a lot of anime though, like a lot more than we used to, which is nothing wrong with that. It was still pretty fucking cool. But like, because I remember like in past years, we would have these badass fucking walls of like the next fucking Marvel shit, and we would take photos behind this fucking awesome, like, I remember like when the X-Men Hickman run was happening, and actually Rod and I went to a panel where Hickman didn't show up and just had like a video of it or something. He wasn't able to be there. Like, this is before
the
pandemic.
pandemic, yeah.
Yo, but they had this awesome fucking wall of X-Men #1 by Lionel Francis Yu. Fucking beautiful wall, like fucking there, and other ones really fucking awesome. And this year there was this one Doctor Strange kind of wall, but other than that, not a lot, you know. Like so that's a little bit of a letdown. It's still fun because like as Chess was saying, I could feel that. Yeah, you're right. Everybody who was there wanted to be there, you know.
Exactly.
For comics, you know, not for showing off and like the celebrity aspect of it. No, they were there because y'all fucking love all this shit.
Yeah, dude. Fucking like aside from the effort, I guess I think that's the word that I was looking for. It was the straight up like the gratitude. Like you felt the gratitude from all sides, you know what I mean? And shit, like it was weird. Like at times I felt like when I was paying for something, because of course things are not reasonably priced, that is Comic-Con, is like I felt like they were more grateful for the purchases than they would have been otherwise, you know? It's like because you know they needed the money. Like
Yeah, they lost a year.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything felt more like this one, even though there wasn't as much people, it had more substance. There you go. Yeah, there you go. I think this was a deeper Comic-Con. It had more like it was a more symbolic one in a way.
And I will say, although we're not saying not a lot of big, well, not a lot of the people that we particularly love were there in terms of the artist alley, but we will say though, at least there were some big names. One of the biggest ones that we got to see was Rob Liefeld. You know, we saw Chris
Word.
Yeah, but Rob Liefeld, the creator of fucking Deadpool and Cable, was there. We would have loved to have had a moment to talk to him and say hi and get him to sign some shit, but the line was long. And the Legion on Zoom, if anything, we do not love lines. No.
Yeah, facts.
Like
unless there are lines of Coke.
Bars.
Fuck yeah. But because yeah, because like honestly, like I don't know, like we love all these people, but like and honestly, like one of the things we saw after, because they had outside of the convention proper center, but like in the I don't know, this area right outside, they had some cool things. They had a Sandman a section for the new audible book that they're coming out with. But the one of the coolest things, they had a Doom Patrol section where they had Danny, you know, Danny the Street that became Danny the Brick, that became Danny the fucking Ambulance down the show, was there. And there was this long ass line, incredibly long, like Disney World, Disneyland type of long line to get into a Doom Patrol section to see shit. And we were like, fuck it. After we left, and I saw on Instagram, actually some of the Doom Patrol cast was there. They had the Elasty woman was there, fucking Jaboyd Wade. Yeah, Rita Farr was there. Jaboyd Wade, who plays Cyborg, was there.
Oh shit.
And somebody else.
Damn,
who else?
Then I'm thinking we should have made the line. And it probably speaks to how little there was to do at the con that everybody had to see the fucking Doom Patrol cast, because it's like it didn't seem like there were many things to line up for. Period. Like you had Rob Liefeld and Doom Patrol.
Yeah, but you know we were there. That was mad. But damn, like to meet them inside of a van just seemed a little weird to me.
Well, it's not inside of the van. It wasn't in tent. Yeah, it was in a tent. It wasn't.
I thought it was like inside. No. I thought it was inside the van.
Nah. We're out of time. You could come in the van.
Yo, if anything, for me to meet Rita Farr like in a little fucking van, I'd be down for that, man. She's fucking great.
Because of people like you is exactly why. That is why
he has the drink and shit. He's like, yo, me in a van with Rita Farr.
That's why it's not in a van.
If you're still in New York City, hit us up.
The Legion.
Yo, here's the Legion on Zoom. What's up?
Let's make that a fucking podcast milestone. Let's interview the lady that plays Rita Farr.
Yo, yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yo, if we focus our efforts, we can make it happen.
Yes.
All right, mofos. Before we wrap, what did you say would be your best highlight from Comic-Con? Top moment.
For me, it has to be just getting in cosplay. Like I don't know when the first year I did cosplay. I think it was Spider-Man in like 2010-ish around there, where I finally dressed up to go to Comic-Con, because before that it felt kind of weird. And it
Yeah.
just feels weird to put on spandex in front of strangers and shit. I don't know if you're like me, at
Yeah.
least. But then I fucking fell in love with cosplay, and then like, with my friends and family, like creating costumes, and then it's like it connects to Halloween really nicely, and all this shit,
Yeah.
all those vibes. It brings out creativity in people. I thought that was my favorite part.
Yeah, and I'll agree, because actually for me, that's been a big thing. Like I never really like, because I grew up in Mexico. In Mexico, Halloween's not really that big of a thing. Like I did Halloween as a little kid. There's some photos of me as like Dracula and shit, but like it wasn't a big of a deal. And then when I moved to San Diego, more of an adult and like, I don't know, like young adult, and nah, like we wouldn't do that. So for me, Comic-Con was like the first time to really like get into that. So actually, like with you guys, going to Comic-Con was the first time I actually got into fucking character. So that's something I always look forward to. So I do think that part, like being in cosplay, because like what you were saying, Ches, about like everybody there is just there for that. I will say, like, we talked about it obviously there, that not a lot of people were in cosplay, at least not on Thursday, as much as we're used to. There was a lot more people just like regular comic book t-shirt and jeans and shit. It was like, come on, like fucking come out. And so I loved being there in cosplay, and there's always something really cool to get recognized, right? Because you always go as some kind of character that's kind of like maybe not like, oh, well, I don't know. It depends. Like, because for me, my thing is always like the cheapest thing I could do, the easiest thing I could just fucking pull on together. Like Rod's a little bit more hardcore. He'll spend time makeup and designing shit. He's a great cosplayer. For me, and I went as Y, the Last Man, as Yorick. In particular, like a mesh of like, Y from the show that we have now on FX, which is actually fucking great, which we'll review soon. And from the comic book, from the graphic novel by fucking Brian K. Vaughan and Pia Guerra. And so I went like that. So it was so fucking cool just be walking around and some people going just like, oh, yo, why? Fucking no, it's the Last Man. It's just a fucking cool moment. It's cool. So I think overall that's right. The fun stuff.
Because it reminds me of kind of like walking around like a stadium at a sporting event where like you're wearing the same kind of jersey. So your friends you also like the team that we live in the same city, all that bullshit. Like Comic-Con is like that. It's like, oh, look at another Spider-Man. Yeah, like it's a little tribal and shit. Like facts. I saw a lot of anime cosplayers though. That's one thing.
Word.
Those guys.
Oh, word. Yeah.
Shout out to anime cosplayers. Y'all showed up.
And for the fans who were wondering, because I hadn't mentioned it yet, I went myself as my own what if. What if a Green Lantern ring had landed in the Bronx?
Yes, I love that.
and you can see the images on our Instagram page. I want a Ches Lantern.
Yes.
And I would say my highlight would be, aside from getting my first pop, just honestly just being there with you guys.
Oh
yeah, shit was heartfelt.
Bitch ass mofos.
No.
Being there with you guys.
Now I will say this was actually a milestone for us. That was really fuck. That actually fuck my answer. Fuck people calling me out. A big one. No, but you're right. Honestly, this was the cool, because honestly, for the fans out there, this was our first time as the Legion on Zoom.
Word
at New York City Comic Con. And if you're still listening to us right now, and you're listening to us because you got our sticker with our QR code,
welcome.
Yeah, thank you and welcome. And that was awesome. That was really nice. I really liked just walking around as the Legion on Zoom, and then we would pass stickers around. And I really like, people are just nice, and we would tell people like, oh, hey, we're a podcast, kind of a podcast, check us out. And a lot of people were really nice. They were like, oh, receptive. People were like, oh, that's a great idea, and so that was really nice. Just so I'm hoping some of you that you saw us, with our all fucking cosplay and shit, that you're listening to us right now. Thank you. You made our day a pretty fun day.
Yeah, word. And go back and listen to a bunch of the episodes. Get to know us better and stay along for the rest of the ride. I'm sure it's definitely going to be a fucking roller coaster and a half if it hasn't been one already. All right, folks. Fucking on that note, we love you all. This was definitely a fun one. And this is Supreme Cheds.
Yo, this is why the last man Miguel.
And this is Rod Quinn. Peace out, people.
Yo,
Peace.
peace.